Well, hey guys, I wanted to share something interesting. A week or maybe 10 days ago, I was listening to the radio while I was driving somewhere here in my truck, and I was on a local FM station, and it had the feed that comes through that's tied to Fox. So around noontime, they have a comedian guy on there that's at Fox, Jimmy something. And then after him, they have a Sean Hannity show. And Sean Hannity is a huge Zionist, massive Zionist, just like Glenn Beck. And those are maybe videos and topics for another day, because their messaging is so anti-scriptural, and it just continues to push a false narrative that's the entire reason that we have the unrest we do for the last several decades or longer in the world. But I don't want to digress. So on this Hannity show, I actually think it was an ad, like a break for an ad. And the producer of the Hannity show came on. You could tell it was taped, but the producer interviewed another lady that was from the modern day geopolitical nation of Israel. And this lady called herself a Jew. And the context was, that the Jews are fighting for survival today. They're a heavily persecuted. They're under attack. The last year and a half of the conflict with Hamas and Gaza, and this gal from Israel, the modern day geopolitical nation of Israel, said that her narrative was, we just need more people like Sean Hannity to get the message out that her referring to the Jews, we're the shining light of the world. We're God's shining light. And we're the focus of the world. And, we're God's chosen people. And she went on that narrative. She did use shining light. So I'm driving along and I'm yelling into the radio, false. You go to Matthew 5, the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount, and right there in the beginning, he's talking to his disciples. So think about that, first of all. It doesn't say he's talking to a nation. It doesn't say he's talking to a certain people group of that time or any other time. It said he was talking to his disciples. And he said to them, you are the shining light. And if you read the Sermon on the Mount, or you read any part of the New Testament where Christ is explaining what everything was going to look like when he ended the Old Covenant age and began the New Covenant age, which is what he came to do, I don't know how much more clear he could make it that it was no longer going to be about a people group. It was going to be about those who believed in him as the one true king. And what I would ask this lady from the Hannity show and who she interviewed and Hannity himself is, how can the Jews today that call themselves Jews be the shining light when they are not part of the kingdom, when they're not a disciple of Christ, when they're actually the group of people that killed him? It's shocking how simple what I just said is, but how people can't connect those dots, and they just follow the man-made narrative that the modern day Jews are still chosen and still special to Christ. Not only are they not, no people group is. It's one-on-one, folks. It's a one-on-one relationship. It's Jesus calling a person out of the darkness into his light, and those are the light of Christ. Those are the shining light. Has nothing to do with people groups or a certain religious group. And why am I so worked up about that? Because the messaging of that false narrative is what continues to drive all of the unrest in the world. All right, guys, we'll keep going.